you reign!
This is the D-Generation cliX podcast. Here are your hosts, Ryan Redmond, Miles Kane, and Daniel Schwab.
Welcome back to the D-Generation cliX podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, besides your event this weekend, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I had a extremely long day Friday, including my drive, but yeah, doing pretty good.
How far did you drive for the event?
Just over 200 miles.
So time-wise, what would you say that is?
3.5, 4 hours.
Okay.
I know the drive back was a lot faster because I didn't stop. I just went straight through, and I think it was a 3-hour drive home.
All right.
But yeah, I think it was a 4-hour drive there.
All right. Well, we'll get into if it was worth it shortly. Dan, how are you doing?
It is end of month, so I'll be very happy when it hits the first. But otherwise, pretty good.
All right. And Pete, how's the week been?
Week's been good. Yeah, week hasn't been good. Last week was my really busy week. So we don't get much of a weekend in between that and the new work week, but it hasn't been bad this week at all.
That's good. School already starts in about a month, I think, for our kids, so we're just trying to get some end of the summer activities in with them, and that's keeping us pretty busy. So, all right, well, on to the news. So after a lot of probablys, possiblies, and maybes, it looks like we can finally plan on a 2024 Rock States in October, and then this will be after Worlds, so they're just going to run with the 400 silver format, and then that does mean it'll be post-rotation, so that's kind of cool that we're actually going to get, it'll feel like a fresh format, I guess, with silver, just because you're getting a ton of new pieces that are going to be rotating from Modern that can count towards that 200-point floor, and then hopefully, too, we're going to get that updated bench ban list that we're still waiting on. What do you guys think about that?
I'm right there with you. I think the most important part is the updated bench and ban list, especially for states. We saw what happened at the Rock Cup. So, I mean, I think that was a big enough showing to know what would be problem pieces.
Right.
So your event was, our event was for what it could be without it. So even though it was theme instead of just normal, I think there's been enough data, especially with the Rock Cup itself,
Yeah.
to know what to bench and what
Or have it to bench ban or take things off, you know.
Yeah, I want to see the official list, but yeah, I really enjoyed our silver event, so I'm hoping it looks pretty neat when everything kind of is ready to fly.
Yeah.
Peter, you ready for 400 silver states?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I just want to see what the next the bench ban list finally comes out as. I've already been building.
Nice.
I'm a full silvered man.
All right, good.
I never thought when we started that I'd hear Pete say that. I was just like, wait, what?
I think it only took one event and a couple of talks from Aaron Morgan.
It is really the talks with Aaron Morgan. Yeah, that's what it was. Got my confidence up for the event, and it was fun. It was honestly really fun to play a lot of the older pieces that we really just played a ton of. It was just great to get them back on the board.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. So I'm excited to see what the official list brings, and then a bunch of new pieces that are going to be making their way into it. So also we had Champion cliX Open. They announced their summer tropical regionals last week, so it's only going to be at 6 locations. One is at Highlander Games in New Jersey, Sunday, August 25th. Another one is Heroes and Games in Columbus, Ohio, Saturday, August 24th. I think this is the one that Oliver and I are going to try to go to. Then there's also one at House Rule Gaming's in Florida, Saturday, September 7th. Krypton Games Krypton Comics in Nebraska, Saturday, August 24th, and Atomic Games in California, Saturday, September 7th. And then there's one in Texas that just details are TBA. There's not a day or a location or anything like that yet. But they did announce the pricing for those events. So participation prize, it looks like they're ditching the broadsword, and it's now going to be the new Brood LE. So that's up to a certain quantity. And then fellowship, there is one per person with 2 total fellowship prizes. One is a King Arthur, and the other one is an Old King Thor. The top 8 of each event will get an Old King Thor. Top 4 get the new Cyclops LE, and then the top 2 get the new Deceased Darkseid, which this is the first event that'll be available at. And then the winner of each event also will get 1 brick of DC Time Masters, and then a modern 300 first round buy for the main Champion Clix Open event in 2025. So this is the first time we actually got to see the Deceased Darkseid card too. Pete, do you want to go over his card?
Yes, I do. He is awesome. So it's Darkseid. His keywords are Apocalypse, New Gods, Sinestro Core, yeah, baby, Cosmic, Deity, Monster, and Ruler. And he has a trait Deceased. The first time Darkseid would be KO'd, you may instead turn him to click number 9. If you do this game and he has 1 Darkseid would take damage from a game effect, he takes 1 unavoidable instead, and at the end of your turn, deal him 1 unavoidable damage, protected Pulse Wave. He has improved targeting through hindering and other hero clicks. He is 7 clicks long at 150 points, and at 90 points he is basically 5 clicks, and you go to your deceased clicks. He has another trait, Doom Tube, which Doom Tube. I suppose probably it's not an error, right? Once per game, phasing teleport is free. When Darkseid uses it, he has pass near 2 and after resolutions deal each adjacent opposing character 1 damage. And then on his deceased clicks, down on the damage power, he has everything fears the end of life, perplex, but only to negatively modify combat values. When Darkseid uses it, he may target all opposing characters within range and line of fire and choose the same combat value for all targets. He is awesome. Now, he's only a sidestep piece, basically, for most of his dial, but he's got 6 range. Single target's probably the biggest drawback. His values are very good. And then when he goes to his deceased clicks, what's interesting is after the first one, he gets Steel Energy. So this is probably the zombie clicks where he may actually hang out for a little while, just because the ability to heal back up 1 click before taking the unavoidable. I like him a lot. I think at 150, I will definitely look at him on a couple of builds, and being able to put the Sinestro Core ring on him just makes him that much better.
Do you think those extra 2 clicks are worth 60 points, though?
19 invincible with outwit. Probably not.
And you get an extra attack. Yeah, I mean that's a steep price for that, but
I mean his values are better. You get 1 extra on defense. The damage is the same, but you get a 12 pensai versus an 11 pensai. But I mean 60 points is 60 points, so I think you got to really look at what your build and what you're losing out on.
Yeah, I think that maybe a weekly 150, but if you're ever going to play him, you're probably usually just saving those 60 points for something else, I would think at least.
He doesn't have the other trait that the other deceased have, where if you play them at higher, they get like a benefit. So you're not like encouraged to play them at a higher point line. So
yeah, for 60 more points, it's minimal.
Is only on the zombie clicks, I think really hurts him. I wish that he had another ability for that.
I think that's pretty much every deceased one, isn't it? They have a really cool power, but you have to get them to the...
Deceased Batman, though, has that trait on his starting line.
No, he has the charge power, but he does not have the damage power.
No, I know that, but yeah, he has a good power for why you want to play him, which is why there's no improved targeting. So yeah, I would have liked to see like the perplex actually be on his starting, because I think that would have made him, especially at 90 points. Like it's just, yeah, you have to get him KO'd before you can benefit from that.
I mean, I don't think he's a meta game. I think he gets looked at for like the monthly.
Sure.
Like pretty hard a couple of times.
So on his starting lines, like clicks 1 through 3, for instance. I mean, you give him the Sinestro ring and he's just a terror.
I think you could have given it to him that perplex on his 150 point line, and then maybe that 60 points doesn't feel as bad.
Right.
Like 2 clicks of that perplex power, and then the Sinestro Core ring, and now you're doing some things.
Yeah, because what is the Sinestro Core Ring? You can go -2, right? So then when he uses Perplex,
Yep.
he chooses a combat value and everyone's -2 to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
pretty
everybody
good.
everybody that I can see is -2, and with IT characters, you're seeing everybody.
And hindering as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool for sure. And then we also did get a look at deceased, what is it, Catwoman? I think a week
Yes.
or two ago also. Dan, do you want to go over that card?
Yeah, so she is 75 or 60, so she's more closer to the original deceased guys in point cost. She is Apocalypse, Batman Family, Birds of Prey, Gotham City Underworld, Martial Artist, and Monster. She's got both Batman Family and Batman Enemy team abilities. She's got improved movement, elevated in characters. She's got a special attack power, which is on clicks 1 through 7. She's got a special damage power, which is on clicks 1 through 4. And so the special attack power is Precision Strike, Giant Reach 3. When Catwoman hits, after resolutions hit characters, drop any held terrain markers and unequip any equipment. To me, that's pretty good.
With 3
She has
bolts?
3 targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's like, hey Redman, I'm gonna take all of your equipment, and you're not gonna like it. So, and then her special damage power is Perplex Shape Change, and then friendly characters with Batman Ally have Batman Enemy. So that's pretty good for if you're playing Batman Family. Like that's a really good way to keep them in the fight with like. She at least has a starting 11 on both her point lines. So she starts with charge, the attack power, and reflexes, and then the damage power, and then she shifts to sidestep, the attack power, super senses, and then either the damage power or empower is her last 3 clicks. And then her zombie clicks are she has a speed power, which is flurry, charge, but don't have speed. When Catwoman hits, hit characters can use Earthbound Neutralize this game.
Wow.
So that's this game. So that's pretty good with 3 targets. Like she has blades, which is kind of whatever, but then the 2 damage, but still being able to just multi-hit people. She doesn't have to do damage just to hit you. So being able to do that and give you Earthbound the whole game is pretty good. At least I think so.
Yeah, you compare her and Darkseid, and it's like, why would you pay the extra 30 points for Darkseid, whose only reason you're going to be playing him is on his zombie clicks, whereas for 30 points less, you're getting her that just destroys teams.
Yeah, I like her so much more.
Yeah, she's you could play her meta.
Oh yeah,
At 60 points.
Why they think that he was worth 90 and 160
Yeah.
or 150?
It's Darkseid, that's why.
yeah. It's literally just because of who he is. I think yeah.
I don't think there's really any of the zombie ones that I haven't thought were at least cool. Like Wonder Woman's probably the one that I liked the least out of all of them, but every one of them is awesome.
Oh, so
Like, they bring something different to the table.
I think she's my favorite, but that's just. I think her attack power is one of the, like, for me, is one of the better ones, but she's I don't know, she's kind of squishy, so that's the problem I have with her.
That Hawkman was so close. That period is what ruined it. If it said friendly characters with JLA have JSA, Protected Outwit, and Pulse Wave, he would be on every team.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to be a little more playable because he looked really cool.
He did. I was really hoping for something kind of nutty too.
So it looks like they are getting away from, though, that extra bonus. What was it? If you have like a power or a color?
Yeah, so it's at their top line. It's like Wonder Woman has, when she attacks a character with a red that can use a red standard power, you modify her attack damage by +1.
Okay.
So, which is good. That's not bad for adding 15 points, 2 clicks. To me, that's worth it. But I understand in the just modern 300 constructed that 15 points can just give you a lot. So I get.
You just get two clicks of her top click at 60. There's nothing special, so it's like you feel okay. She gets no benefit as 2 extra clicks.
It's really
no.
good.
I just mean that being a 13 attack with 4 damage top dial is good.
Yeah.
For 15 points, you're getting that, because I mean a red standard power is pretty frequent. So
This is probably the closest one to. I understand that like Superman came off of World's Finest on sometimes, like the DC Superman, like you would pop him out, but I don't recall anybody really playing the deceased chases. I thought people were talking about Joker, but I never saw it. This one though, you absolutely at 60 points on a monster team, just for everything she does.
oh yeah. So I honestly went back to Batman, but he doesn't work against Myrn. I was like, does this work? And I'm like, no, because Myrn isn't using improved targeting. So I was like, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah, she looks really cool though.
Mhm.
And then it looks like we also have dates for Masters of Time now. So pre-releases are supposed to start Wednesday, August 21st, and the set releasing only a week later on Wednesday, the 28th. Which, if that does pan out, it makes Masters of Time legal for Worlds, and it means that most likely then it only just sees over a year of modern play, since it's going to be legal for 2 Worlds after 2025
I
rotation.
know. Yeah, but look at X of Swords. X of Swords was legal before Worlds. We had 3 Worlds. This is gonna be the 3rd World for Mad Gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exoswords has been legal since '78.
Well,
It just never goes away.
they've never officially gone out and just said that it is 2 rotations or it's too close to as close to 2 years as they can get. So it's kind of up in the air. But yeah, if hopefully it does not rotate right after 2025 Worlds.
oh, that would be horrible for only literally barely a year. Actually, just a year because it's going to be out that week. Right? It'll be modern the week before, or is it the week of?
It's the week. It'll be legal the day before World starts because it's going to be legal on a Wednesday, and Thursday I believe is
Oh,
when it starts, right?
yeah. I could totally see them not letting it be legal. But
Well, they
yeah,
should probably tell us that pretty soon here.
yeah, no, it definitely needs to. Yeah, they have a few weeks. It definitely needs addressed because
Well, pre-releases start
yeah,
in 3 weeks, and I'm sure people are already building with this because it's it's with their rules, it's legal. So if it's not going to be,
yeah.
they
I
need
would
to.
just recommend to people that are listening that go ahead, build a team with it, but also build a team without it and be prepared for it
And then
because there's been last week.
we can probably assume that that's going to be the battle royale set and the team set, I think, too. At this point,
Yeah, I don't think Black Panther is.
yeah, it's just too far out at this point. And then Clickstuff showed off a really cool prime, the Blue Beetle, which we also wanted to go over. So he is 043B. He is 75 or 45 points. He has a trait which is called Threat Neutralization. Free, choose an opposing character within range and line of fire, and a standard power. That character can't use the chosen power until Blue Beetle chooses again. Then he's got another trait, Implicate Order Annihilation Field. Range, make a range attack targeting a single character with a point value equal to or less than Blue Beetle's point value. If Blue Beetle hits, roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled or replaced. 1 through 4, damage from this attack is penetrating, and after resolutions, give the hit character an action token. 5 or 6, instead of normal damage, remove the hit character from the game. Characters removed from the game are scored. And then he's got a special attack power, which is free. Choose a standard attack power. Blue Beetle can use that power until your next turn. So at 75 points, he starts at an 8 running shot, 11 attack with that special attack power, a 19 invulnerability, and 4 prob. And he gets KO'd on click 9. And then if you play him at 45 points, he starts with a charge. That's 1 click of that special attack, and then an 18 toughness, 3 exploit. And then he only has 4 clicks of life with 6 range and 2 bolts. And he does have flights. So what do you guys think about this guy?
I mean, he's cool.
He's a problem at 75 points. He's got full map reach with small maps only. So, I mean, I could see this being an issue, but my normal complaints, I really can't use them because he's taking up a prime slot. So, we'll see how it works out. Some figures that make him better don't theme with him. So, potentially that can help you if you're going against this figure. That way you go first.
I think he's
Yeah,
pretty
I
awesome.
like him. Yeah, removing pieces from a game. I know there's some people that think it's broken.
I mean, he's your
But-
prime. You're paying 75 points for that, and it's a roll that you can't tweak or try to cheat it into being accurate. So, like, I would say it's fine. And he's pretty squishy. Like, he's only a 19 invuln. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, if post porters, it'll be a little bit different, right? We won't be modding our stats nearly as crazily, probably, but I still think 19's pretty hittable. Like Kong's easy. Like that's okay. 12 on 19. That's a 7.
Right.
Yeah, and then since he's flying, Kong does penetrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all this is going to do. Really, is I think this piece, if it starts hitting a lot of play, is you're going to either see tent poles or there's another prime that he just doesn't do that to, and that's Prime Colossus, who just eats this guy up.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, any character that's more points than him, it doesn't work. So, and there are plenty of characters that are viable that are more points than him.
The figures that he removes from the game are problem figures to begin with, like Kong. So it just means that you have to build tentpole or just plain Prime Colossus. I think Prime Colossus is a perfect answer to this figure and the Prime for Prime by being 5 points more. I don't think you ever play him at 45 points. Losing the running shot really hurts him.
No.
And it just makes him that much easier to kill.
Yeah, making him a charge piece is not ideal.
No.
So I think always 75 points. I'm definitely going to be starting to build with this guy after rotation for sure. So
I was gonna say in silver, this guy's like right up your alley. So
oh yeah,
I think he's a bigger problem in silver. I don't think he's a big problem at all, honestly. Like, he's your prime slot. He's 75 points. You play him at 45. What are you trying to do? Kill support mostly, or I guess retails? Sure.
Well,
okay.
Well, the thing is, you can't with charge unless you're giving him a bike, right? That's like the only way to get him around to do it.
Because you might as well pay 15 points.
Yeah.
Instead of just a motorcycle to make him that.
And it's
still the one thing that makes him, I think, okay is the fact that it's a uppercase range, so it's not whenever he attacks a single character, so it doesn't trigger with other means like hypersonic speed and stuff like that. So making it a range, I think, is extremely good.
Yeah,
it's still a 33% chance of doing it too.
Yeah, no, the 5 or 6 is totally fine, and it says that you have to roll it. Can't be re-rolled or replaced, so that tarots, if someone tries to tinker it with tarot and silver. You can't really do that. Yeah.
I mean, and you can't die manipulate that or anything. So you're just this is what you're getting.
Yeah, if you're able to die manipulate it, then yeah, he's broken in silver. But I think he's fine.
I think he's fine too.
So
I think he's cool. He's a piece that will never work for me. Like I would never count on that 5 or 6 to KO something with one shot, but he does a lot of other stuff too, like the free choose a standard attack power on 75 points. I mean, so you can running shot energy explode and still probably have a good chance of doing penetrating damage because of the die roll. So I think he's cool that way.
Well, you still have the only single target to get the other part of the die roll too.
Yeah, that's true.
Could pick what range or no standard attack power, so never mind. Yeah. But that's still cool if they don't. I was gonna say range combat expert, but no. But yeah, you don't usually just see just straight pick a power anymore either. So that alone is neat.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even thought about what equipment to put on him yet, but I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff. And then we have a Collector's Trove coming out, which hopefully is 100 equipment items.
Oh my god.
But the primes look really, really cool in this set. So far, we've seen what Reverse Flash and Madame Xanadu. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing more of those.
So if we've seen the
Swamp Thing and Demon, I believe.
That Etrigan, he's got an A-side also that we're waiting for.
Yeah, but Blue Beetles are rare, so we're having 3 rare primes in this set?
Unless they do something like Storm where that Etrigan is just a like a B-side.
Oh, watch that be the case, and his A side is Jason Blood. I bet that could always be the case.
But
that'd be nice. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I was just hoping for a better version of Etrigan because this guy's pretty bad.
I don't even think he's that bad.
I think he's extremely good for 30 points.
Yeah.
I guess for 30, I just wanted something a little more consistent. I guess was what I was like. To me, he's too all over the place.
We'll get into him when we do our set review.
Yeah.
But this last weekend, the cliX Dads hosted a 2v2 event in the Pacific Northwest. The format was 300 Modern Extreme Highlander theme, with both teammates having to share the same keyword. You guys had, I think, 24 people, so 12 teams. Miles, you were able to attend that. Who was your teammate?
Matt Zielinski. He reached out to me, and he said, "Hey, let's go and win this thing." So, I mean, we both put together some good teams. We had a shot to get in the finals.
Do you want to go over what you guys played real quick, though?
Yeah, I was going to wait for the top 4 and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was really cool seeing some interesting themes. Teams. I mean, we had an animal, a symbiote. Obviously, you had monster and mystical, and scientists were out there. Yeah, it was a good event. We were kind of worried. We only had like 11 or 12 people signed up, like 5 or 6 days before, and then all of a sudden we had the rest. So that was really cool. And we also had battle royals being ran. Yeah, for it being the first event, there's definitely some things that can be worked out. The venue, Parallel 45, was amazing. It was a brewery. They just had an area meant for events, and connected to it was a pizza, I think, called New York Slice. And since they were still in the process of figuring everything out, they weren't even open yet, but they gave us all free pizza because they had to test stuff out. So we ended up with like 30 free pizzas. It was, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
Do you want to go over your Swiss play?
Yeah, so I'll go over my team now. So we just originally, Matt wanted to get work with Detective. So we were going to originally do him with World's Finest and Gordon, and then I was going to do Polaris with Hawkeye and Hawkeye, but then I realized Detective's there's just too many problems, so I got a shtick. It was right before my birthday. My wife saw me buy one hero click of Carnage, so she decided to splurge on it, and so I'm like, yeah, I want Carnage. So then we decided to do Monster. He decided to go with Martian Manhunter at 60 points, Black Lantern, King Deadpool and Elsa with the pumpkin bombs, Blackheart, Kong, Necron, and Batman. And then he had Chthon on the sideline, and he put Chthon on Kong, which seemed to work out for him real well. My team was decided to go with Butterfly to potentially bring in Myrm, which I brought in every game. I had Venom Thanos just in case. And since I had a third option, I did Black Lantern Aquaman because I thought it'd be hilarious to see his name on a on an event that could place. But the main reason why I did this team was because of the Legacy Carnage, not the Colossal, but the actual one from Ultimates with Motorcycle. And the reason why was the one thing that really hurt him was he didn't have a movement attack. And his trick is whenever you modify his attack and defense +1 for each adjacent opposing character, and then when Carnage makes a close attack, he may target all adjacent opposing characters. If Carnage can use Blade's Claw's Fangs, he may do so while targeting multiple characters and rolls a separate d6 for each hit character. And he also has a Spider TA. So I gave him Motorcycle to give him Charge. He already had 10 speed with Perplex, so I had an 8 reach. And he had 4 or 6 senses. And just go to people, and if they had 3 or 4 clusters, just roll my blades. It happened quite a bit. Especially since he has Symbiote, he's able to heal up the other figures on my team, which were Carnage Cleo with the red Symbiote, which I ended up just not having. I forgot to bring it, so it didn't come into play. Carnage Surfer with the Symbiote Black. Carnage Thor with Shock Gauntlets, which was huge. And then the last 10 points was it was tough because it was originally going to be Colossal Carnage, but I decided to go with Prime Hulk, and I put Billy Clubs on him. That never really came into play. I just had an extra 5 points. So that's 295 points. Pete, you know what I did with my last 5 points?
Oh, man.
Yep. We had to argue about who was going to get the nifty traffic barrel. I told him I'm a lot more experienced with it, so then I decided to run it. And it came in clutch.
Good call.
Yep. I think so. It was huge. My maps, since this wasn't just small maps, I had Bloodstone Maze and Ace Chemicals, which I never did, but I did Morlock Tunnels. And the reason why I did Morlock Tunnels is because, especially in this format, it's a lot easier. If I'm going second, this is the map that I want to be on, especially with the Nifty Traffic Barrel. I'm able to control my opponents on how they can get to me. So I'm able to do a lot more setup before I just go and just obliterate their team, which was the main goal. My first Swiss game was against. We went with what's their name? The Beef Brothers, I want to say, right? Yeah, Cowboy Beef Bop. I went against Jared, who sadly was playing against the one piece that I knew I was gonna have a problem with, and that was 200 Point Kong. Originally, he had to work on him, but I do explain that you don't get to work because she doesn't have the monster keyword. He ran Jack Russell with the Indigo Tribe Ring, and then Prime Hulk with Motorcycle. Put him on Morlock Tunnels. I killed Hulk pretty quick. I killed Jack Russell pretty quick. I couldn't kill Hulk. Like that was, or no, I mean not Hulk, but Kong at 200 points. He was just rolling hot. I had like 2 or 3 critical hits on him, and he still rolled his impervious rolls. So, and when you only have a few figures, I think I only had Mern with the precision strike, and sadly Thor missed his attack and then just got decimated by Kong. So I wasn't able to get that 2 damage pulse wave, especially because he was the only one alive for the longest time. So
That's a rough matchup then.
it was, and he was also doing a little bit of point denial because since he didn't have to work, it's now a 210 point that I had to try and overcome. So sadly, that got called a time. I did the best I could, but I was only able to get 75 points. So because I forgot to kill the ring. So the ring was still there, or not the ring, but the motorcycle. I was carrying it, but just never had a chance to really use it. So he got 160, and I got 75. Matt played his partner. I forgot what his partner's name is. It's hard for me to. Dalton? Is it? It says Dalton something.
Sure.
Or is that something like that? Yeah. So
I only have top
Monster,
4
'cause they both
teams.
yeah. No, I'm looking. I have all the build sheets. So it's yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I can't. So he had Camo running with Bucky's arm, Venom Thanos with Black Symbiote, Carnage Surfer with Skybreaker, Blackheart with Hell Cycle, and then the 10-point Carnage, and he had Scrappy on his sideline. It was another game. It was tough for him because we never really got a lot of practice in with our teams, so we were learning as we went. Matt was able to take him out 175 to 100. Or no, he lost. Yeah. Matt won him 175 to 100. I was looking at the record. I forgot is the cumulative record, so it says 1-0. But yeah, they ended up winning totally because they had 260 to. I think they only won by like 15 points because 175 plus 75 is 250. Yeah, they won by 10 points. So if I would have KO'd that motorcycle, we would have actually took the round. So it was. That's where it was close.
Hey, you got to make sure you
game
hit that.
2. Yeah. I was trying to. I just didn't have an opportunity because he had hypersonic, and that was my only move and attack with Surfer, so I couldn't hypersonic and use it in an attack.
All right.
Game 2, we went up against. Where is it at? We went up against the. Where the hell is it at? Oh yeah, Baby Shark. That's where it is. Let me go way down here. They ended up dropping after the second round. This is the game where I actually got a few fellowship votes because of what I did in this game, and it almost costed me. Where is that? Here, somewhere.
Classic Miles.
Yeah, well, I do have it. It's just trying to find it in the order.
No, I meant
It's not wanting to load.
I meant making a decision that almost cost you the game.
Yeah, no. So anyway, it was I'll try and find his build, but he was running Camo with Aquaman and a few others. He was able to place Camo all the way. I put him on Morlock Tunnels. And he came in for his Alpha Strike. And he rolled a 3. He needed like a 6. I used Clea's Prob. Because I felt bad for him. I felt bad for Old Man Ray. And yeah. Needless to say, he hit with that attack, and it was, clawing back. I ended up only winning that game by 10 points. So it was,
Just from that one prob.
it was, just from that one prob. Yeah, like that one prob completely just destroyed me, and I was like, man, why'd I do this? Why did I do this? I cannot find the other build sheet for Matt's team. They didn't place, but somewhere here. But he ended up wiping his opponent. Leave it to me to not wipe. So, yeah, that's how that worked. Where is it at? Game 3 was against the Pacific Northwest Bros, which was Jason from Roseburg and Curtis of Team Dad Bod. Curtis played Matt. Curtis was playing Kong at 200 with Chthon, Blackheart with Blue Lantern Ring, and Mad Jim Jaspers. He ended up losing 200 to 140. And so then I decided to go up against Jason, who was playing your team, Ryan. Well, actually, not your team exactly, but he had Arachnite at 100 points with Miramasa and Vox, with Khonshu on Vox, Ghost Goblin, and then Apocalypse with Soul Sword. He didn't have any MOE swap on his sideline. It was honestly a little bit of a worrisome because, my team doesn't do great with tent poles, especially when you have 4 through 6 rollouts. That just can't be outwitted.
Right.
But I was able to just fully wipe him with my Carnosaur KOing one of his figures. I believe it was the Ghost Goblin. Then he did his 3 damage Pulse Wave. Vox came in, and then I just chewed up Vox. So I ended up winning 300 to 10. So we're now 2-1, and we're going against the number 1 seeded team at that time, which was the cliX Troopers. They both were undefeated, the only undefeated team at that time. Matt played Jay Patel, and Jay was running Phoenix Sentinel with Mern, Cosmo. That's easier to see here. So Mern, Cosmo, Hope Summers with Peacemaker's Helmet, Mad Jim with Khonshu, Saint Walker with Blue Ring, and Timebreaker. I don't really know who he was originally going to be playing Butterfly, but he wasn't, which was a surprise. He had Pumpkin Bombs and Bucky's arm on his sideline. He went in for an alpha and failed. So Matt was just able to wipe him 300 to 40. I played Marcus. He was running Sinestro with the Sinestro ring at 75 points from BTU. Prime Domino with Trick Arrow. Carnage Surfer with Twert. Venom Thanos with the Black Symbiote. And Space Ghost with the motorcycle. Putting the motorcycle on running shot. I run map roll. We're on a small table. I went against my instincts, and I decided to let him choose map instead of me putting him on Morlock Tunnels, which would have helped me tremendously to get into place, especially since he's cosmic. I don't care about where you are. Mern's going to let me hit you. I totally underestimated his reach, so he was actually able to come up and get a decent alpha on me. Prime Domino is a pain.
I was going to ask you about her.
Couldn't use any of my shape changes. Luckily, when she used the one time she used the trick arrows, she missed with her Quake, so that was huge. But it was just me playing defensive. The only figures I was able to get was Space Ghost and Domino before he wiped my team. But, I mean, he had to earn it. and we weren't sure what was going on. We originally thought that we lost the game, and so I'm like, crap, because they added up points, and they won by 5 points. I think it was like 345 to 340. But then they realized that Matt actually KO'd the Peacemaker helmet, so we ended up winning by 5 points. So we were able to get, luckily enough, to get into top 4 by beating them.
The more I look at this team, I really like it. What did Sinestro do? How did he play?
Well, Sinestro in my game, he didn't really do much. He wasn't really able to get that pulse wave off because he was too scared to really get his he didn't want to get his own figures in the pulse wave. So there was that. I believe they recorded a few of his games to where Sinestro put in a lot of work. It's on cliX Troopers page, which is the game he recorded the game against me, and you can even hear me say that this was a bad idea. I should have just said, even at the end, like, yeah, I'm gonna regret this. I should have put you on Morlock Tunnels, and then yeah, he proceeded just just wallop me with Ultron's Lair because I didn't realize my reach wasn't as good as I thought it was. So we made cut, which was nice. We went up against the the second seeded team, which was the 2 members of the Man Bats. So it was really cool to see the Man Bats show up. I ended up playing Will. Matt played Callan. I'm not going to really go over their team yet, just so we can go over the 3 builds so you guys can see it. Will won all of his games that day. No one was able to beat him. Callan, I think, was the only one to really lose the game because they lost to the cliX Troopers. So Matt went up against Callan and just couldn't make attack rolls. Just got completely wiped, 300 to 0. I did not realize it. I thought he was able to at least KO something. And he asked me, should I just pack up? And I told him, yeah, it doesn't look good. And then I realized the placement of everything with Will's team, which was Saturnine Kong, Doctor Strange, Primalis, Bloodstone, and Mephisto, that I could actually wipe his entire team in one turn. And in one turn, about 3 minutes, I literally just decimated his entire team. Saturnine was still full. Kong was on, he was 50 points. He was on his second to last click. And then, yeah, it was really huge because he was generating those pogs. So I was able to use my Carnage to go up there and just mass blades, making sure something was KO'd. And then I got them to all full. I got my Surfer and my Thor full and Clea. So Thor was able to just do his 2 damage pulse wave with the knockback. And the last time that I really needed was to kill Mephisto. He missed his shape change, and then I fully wiped him. I thought that we won fully because, like I said, I thought Matt got at least 5 or 10 points of something. He did not. We did the roll-off. We lost the roll-off. I'm still undecided how I feel with how I think that if you score over the build, I think it should go towards tiebreakers for stuff like this. For me personally, I killed 3 of his strange constructs, astral stranges. I think that should have been really looked at too for tiebreaker purposes. So, yeah, so we ended up losing in the roll-off, sadly, for top 4. But yeah, it was a fun event. Matt felt bad at first because he really wanted to take it. I told him sometimes it just happens. We didn't get enough practice, and we still made top 4. Went 3-1 in Swiss. I had a bunch of stuff that happened the day before Friday, but I still made it, and it took me a few games to really get in the groove. But yeah, overall I feel happy with how I did, especially with the Legacy Carnage, who I think is underrated. So it was awesome to play him.
Did you get a chance to actually watch the final game?
Somewhat. I was in one of the last BRs. They're both recorded. It looked like just decimation.
Okay.
Just based off of the reaction, the loser's reaction, it was
Okay.
Just yeah.
Well, just to go over the builds fully, fourth place was the Symbiote team that was played by Jeremiah Thompson and Merritt Chapman. Dan, do you want to go over both those builds?
Yeah. So Jeremiah played a basically one-man army because he played Venom God of Symbiotes at full with the black symbiote, and then the rare symbiote that is the A side to Prime Spider-Man. So that's pretty neat. There's not too much else there's the tarot and the maps, but that's pretty much it. And then his partner Merritt played basically the rest of symbiote. It was Prime Spider-Man with the red symbiote, Carnage Silver Surfer, Venom Thanos, Carnage Clea, Carnage Rocket with the trick arrows, and the 10-point Colossal Carnage.
No, I've played that Venom God of Symbiotes team before, and it was actually pretty fun, and I could see it doing well. Obviously, it depends a lot on your rollouts. Miles, did you catch a lot of these games that this one was in, or no?
I saw some of them. Yeah, we were next to them. That Venom God of Symbiotes did pretty good. He won 2 of his games.
Okay.
And I think it was a great call for Symbiotes with Merritt, who was the more experienced player. So Jeremiah was. I haven't really seen him at any events, so he looks newer. So I'm assuming that Merritt brought him with him, try and give him some good competitive play. Which, I mean, if you're going to have a newer player, I think the best way to do it is give them these tentpole pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had tons of fun, and yeah, he was doing great with that symbiote.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that they played Symbiote and came up with those teams.
Yeah, he just got overwhelmed a few times, which can happen when you play tentpole teams.
Yeah. And then third, that was you guys who played Monster, Miles. So we'll move on to second, which was Cosmic. Pete, do you want to take that team?
I thought Miles went over it, didn't he?
The whole thing, or no?
Didn't you play them, Miles?
Yes.
Marcus and yeah, I think you pretty much went over all of them. I mean, they're very good teams, both of them. Just to go over quickly, Jay played Phoenix Sentinel Mern, Cosmo, Hope Summers, and Mad Jim Jaspers. Saint Walker, Timebreaker. He had Peacemaker's helmet on Hope Summers, which is interesting, and the blue lantern ring on Saint Walker, and Avatar of Khonshu on Mad Jim Jaspers. And then his partner, who would be Marcus Duval, played Sinestro at 75 with the Sinestro Core Ring, Prime Domino, Trick Arrows, Carnage Silver Surfer with the Avatar of Taret, Venom Thanos with the Black Symbiote, Space Ghost, and the Motorcycle. So 2 very cool Cosmic teams. I actually like both of them a lot. I find the combinations that they managed to put together to be very, very good. I mean, giving the ability for Phoenix Sentinel to be able to shoot even more with Mern on the board without lines of fire being blocked is pretty amazing. So,
yeah, that was a team that was going to be a problem because if we were able to get into the finals, if we win the roll off, they swapped to where the same as yours, where A played B and B played A, and I would have been matched up with J. And I'm not quite sure how I'd be able to handle Phoenix Sentinel. Potentially, if I went picked Mac, I'd have to put him on Morlocks just to try and give me a little bit of space because of he's going against Mern. So it's like there is no map. It's just trying to see who can survive the longest. So that would have been worrisome. Yeah, Phoenix Sentinel they're the ones that went to that Man Bats event last year and I think there was 3 or 4 of them that just dropped this Phoenix Sentinel team and just destroyed everybody.
Now, was Jay the only person that played the Timebreaker?
Yes.
Looks like it, yeah.
How did that perform? Because I have not seen Timebreaker in any events yet.
He only brought out one against Matt. It got him into position, but he missed all of his attacks, so it didn't do great against Matt. But he won all of his games except for Matt against us, and then in the finals. So Timebreaker seemed to be doing good. I think it was more of point filler than anything. Probably just try and get Phoenix Sentinel up there, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said he only brought out 2 of them.
Oh, so, at most?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Well,
he'd
we
bring
played-
one turn one, and then he'd shoot him the next turn with 3 of them. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I've played the Phoenix Sentinel in monthly games, just having somebody at the spin ring. So one squared makes a huge difference with that piece. So that's a real good use of the time breakers.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
And then first place was Will E playing Saturnine Kong at 50. The Saturnine was the 151, so that's actually a chase. And then
yes,
the Avengers Forever Doctor Strange, 40 points. The Prime Elsa Bloodstone at 30 points with the trick arrows for free. And then the Mephisto. He has the team up card. Do you know if he actually played the team up card many times?
I didn't really. I mean, it never really came into play with me because I just. I mean, yeah, he never really did that with.
I'm assuming no,
Never really
because
replaced
he didn't play the actual MOE swap, so healing him back off of that would be hard too. Because the if you do the mystical team up and you choose to put that 8 down, you take unavoidable. So, and then you can't bring him back either. So yeah, I don't. He probably did not bring the that team up card in.
No,
then.
because he tried to get people into line of fire, but I was able to overwhelm him by blocking him. Morlock's really screwed with his like alpha. Like he wasn't really able to get to me.
Okay.
So that was and then I had the nifty traffic barrel that stopped him from Mephisto had to stop towards a lot of things. So
All right.
yeah, it never really came. I
That'll
didn't
time
really
Mephisto
notice he was
up.
playing hard. So
My guess is not done. Yeah. All right. So then his partner was Callan, who played Wong with Bucky's arm, Man Thing, Wonder Woman, Death Metal, and the Blackheart, the 35-point Saturnine, and then the Madison from the main set, 20-point with Nesto Core Ring, and then Cathan on the sideline. And they were a mystical theme. You said they won and took that game pretty handily at the end, Miles?
oh yeah, so it was that Madison was Sinestro Core Ring because perplex twice and it's -2. So
Yeah.
he just negatively impacted people to where they had -2 attack. So that's why Matt just couldn't attack. Because he threw Man Thing up there with his 21 defense. It's like, good luck, Kong, trying to hit me with her 10, or whoever else you had. She would just, decimate him with their attacks. Down.
and you still have the Saturnine -1 sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
Not bad.
that's a very something I would play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a very like Pete.
Yeah,
there.
that's a very
Take
solid
out
strategy.
one thing. He was able to hit Madison, but obviously Madison then moved. And then I forgot what else he KO'd, but then Wonder Woman brought back. I believe it was just Wonder Woman. So, yeah. He did KO things, he just didn't get points. So
Was there a ban list for this at all?
no, there's no ban list.
Oh, I guess I'm surprised that Mystical I didn't see a single Ghost Rider. I was like, huh.
I believe this was the only mystical team. I can't remember.
There was 2. I'll bring that up in just a second.
Yeah, I forgot which.
So out of the 12 teams, there was 2 Mysticals, 1 Cosmic, 4 Monsters, 1 Symbiote, 1 Avengers, 2 Scientists, and 1 Animal. Were you surprised that there weren't any keywords that didn't make it?
Yeah, I was detective. I was surprised.
Do you feel like
I just don't know.
because both teammates had to pick from the same keyword, so do you feel like that limited some of the possible team combinations then, or pieces heavily?
I think so, but I think detective was good enough though because you could have World's Finest and that was going to be our original build was World's Finest with Commissioner Gordon, World's Finest with what's her name, Polaris, and then Hawkeye and Hawkeye with Commissioner Gordon.
What
so
point
you had
level?
Your main attackers.
What point level would that put World's Finest at?
60.
60 still.
Yeah, I think you still play him at 60. Yeah, because you're also able to get Shaggy on there. You can get some of the baby Groots on there. I think that because I was actually building with Sherlock Holmes. I think Sherlock Holmes in this kind of format where it's so limiting would have actually benefited and been pretty good.
Sure.
I just felt like Legacy Carnage needed to get some dust off and shown that he is extremely good and underplayed. it caught everybody off guard when I said, "No, he's a 4 through 6 senses," because he got hit with what's it called, the precision strike, and I rolled a 5, and he's like, "Well, no, you don't make it." I'm like, "Yeah, I got 4 through 6." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "He's Spider Ally or Spider Family." He's like, "What? Well, that makes no sense." I'm like, "Oh, that's what it is."
Yeah, I know you talked about him quite a bit on and off ever since he's been legal.
Yeah, no, and it was nice to really get, because Legacy Darkseid was one of those pieces I wasn't sure. Same thing with him. Yeah, the Legacy figures I think people are really sleeping on a lot of the Legacy figures.
I think the
I think
values overall are a big turnoff, but they do a lot of really fancy things.
Well, yeah, I mean potentially, but yeah, I think there's some diamonds in the rough that people just aren't looking at. I think Deadpool and Bob is one of them.
But Miles, some of the pieces are just rough.
They are. I know. You don't like to look at them, but
And I like to look at all of them, but they're just not all diamonds.
well, some are charcoal.
Going back to your team or your teammates' team, are there anything that you would have done different that would have, you think, played a little bit better?
No, I think that I fine tuned mine perfectly. The Billy Club's kind of iffy, but I think that was the best play for Hulk. Um, it sucks that Clea was on there, but she actually came in clutch
To almost lose you that
Matt
one game?
did, I think, the best he could do. The one thing, though, when we did play test was he liked Necron with prob, so he never healed him up as much as he could have. And I tried telling him the prob is good, but Necron healed up is where you want him at, especially with the Elsa and Deadpool giving the pizza tokens for prob.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there any talk of another Pacific Northwest event in the near future?
We have just the states that is happening.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully that starts getting talked about soon.
For around Worlds, because we did make a profit, so they're trying to run like a little sealed event or something for prizing, because we still have 2 cases left of prizing. So there's 2, like Howard said, they're harder and harder to find. So there's 2 sealed cases of Deadpool and Weapon X still up here in the Pacific Northwest. So they're pretty sure they're doing something around Worlds. I'm not going to be here. I told them that'd probably be good, is just to try and get people an event up there for Worlds. People that aren't going.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good idea for a lot of local stores if people aren't going to make it to Worlds to still support the game.
Especially out here where there's just not a lot of people. As far as I know, the only people from Oregon that are going are, I believe, 2 of the Roseburg guys and then me. So 3 from Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave, Jason, and me are coming from Oregon. So
is Curtis not going this year?
No, he wants to do Champion cliX.
Okay, yeah, that's a good call too, because he has not done that yet, right?
No.
All right, well, congrats to Callan and Will for winning the 2v2 event. And then there was also another event over the weekend in Northeast Ohio. There was 18 people at that one. And just to go over the top 8 builds on that, taking 8th place was Peter Marshfield with a ruler team. Pete, do you want to read his team?
Yes, sir. Prime Colossus with the trick arrows, Kong with the avatar of Khonshu, Blackheart, Black Skull, and both porters with the white shirt with the Sinestro core ring. Sideline was Khonshu, Search for Amit's Tomb, Cathan, and then some MOE swaps, Doom Supreme, Killmonger, and Iron Inquisitor. So, kind of a cool team. I've been trying to figure out how to fit in ruler, and this did it all pretty well. I find it a little bit interesting. Yeah, because I don't know if you take a porter off to try to fit Mephisto in for MOE swap. I don't think it's that important, honestly. So I think this is probably your best build for this version of it. So.
All right, and then Dan, you want to go over Jay Major's team?
Yeah, so he played his double Carnage Surfer team, which is both Carnage Surfers. One has the red symbiote, one has the trick arrows. Death Metal Wonder Woman with the Soul Sword, one Genesis with, I'm assuming, Soul Sword, and then double Apocalypse with Soul Swords, and then the 10-point Carnage, and then he has Absorbing Man on the sideline. So just a lot of rollouts.
I think this is pretty close to what he was playing back when the Kilted.
Yeah.
Back in March of last year, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is real close. It might be slightly adjusted. I mean, obviously, Absorb Men's on there now, but yeah, it's pretty close.
Honestly, I think this is pretty identical because I played him back at that time too. So I know he's done the reps with this team.
Yeah, there's an interaction that he didn't realize worked, and it completely decimated his team.
What's up?
Which was a USB arrow. Because he thought only one person gets unequipped. He didn't realize all hit characters got unequipped.
Oh, so somebody hit him with the USB and unequipped his entire team?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then taking sixth was Jacob Hicks' Cosmic Team. Miles, you want to do that one?
Yeah, Phoenix Sentinel with Mern, Cosmo, Cracklin with Motorcycle, which I'd love to see. Mad Jim with Khonshu, which I think is it's a great 10 points to throw onto him to make him that much more of a support piece. And then Black Shirt Porter, he had obviously Khonshu on his sideline with Pumpkin Bombs, Trick Arrows, Billy Clubs, and Warlock. Yes, he's going to power action give Pumpkin Bombs to Phoenix Sentinel. Yeah, that's it's the Phoenix Sentinel Mad Jim combo, which is
pretty mean if it goes off.
Well, you could give him the Trick Arrows too, so it's not just the Pumpkin Bombs. Trick Arrows are pretty good too.
No, that's probably what you would do is probably start him with the pumpkin or with the Trick Arrows, and then give him the Pumpkin Bombs later.
Or depending on if he's playing a theme team or an unthemed team.
Yeah. I really like this team. I like that you're getting Cosmo deployed. You're going to be able to shoot through whatever you want with Phoenix Sentinel, with Mern. I think this is a really, really cool team.
I'm surprised at how many Phoenix Sentinels have actually popped up lately again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 events the same weekend. It's surprising.
And then taking fifth was Azareth Strife. So he actually played the Deadpool Weapon X Phoenix Wolverine at 275, a Warlock Sword for 10 points. The Cordian Thunderer at 15 with the Sinestro Core Ring, and then Absorbing Man on his sideline. So very cool to see him play a tent pole like this and do this well. We'll go over a little bit of the breakdowns, but yeah, it's kind of cool to see something like that make it in a world where there's so many stop signs. I know that doesn't really slow him down, but it's still a deterrent to play him.
Yeah, he went undefeated in Swiss with it. So
I just want to know if he had fun with this piece, because I think it would be cool to play it a couple times, but I know it probably helps with like the mental fatigue of playing like an 8-piece team for an entire event. But I just want to know if it was fun to just sit down and play this for 5 or 6 rounds. But I think I know he likes to play tent pole, so he probably liked it a lot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And then fourth,
I just like the name of the team. This is probably a mistake.
But it looks like it wasn't. He came in fifth.
No, I think that's a pretty good. It's not a mistake categorically.
The next team is a team that took him off. So,
all right, do you want to go over that one, Pete?
Yes, more rulers everywhere. Colossus with the motorcycle. I've seen that. That's an amazing combination. Kong, Death Metal Wonder Woman, Daredevil. 30 points with the Trick Arrows, the Porters, the Black Shirt with Indigo Ring, and of course, White Shirt with Sinestro Core, and then the Lucas, PJ, and Scott Pog, and then sideline was Cthon and Scrappy Doo. So, yeah, I like this. I like this version too. Death Metal Wonder Woman. I love that piece. She's very reasonable at what she does, and she does something so unique in the game right now where you have to kill something twice. So I like that a lot. And then Daredevil, and that's a piece you just don't even want to attack, but you get tied up with it so many times. So yeah.
You're getting pretty familiar against
traffic.
it, though.
I don't see a lot of nifty traffic barrels on these builds, boys.
they're not.
I don't know why.
They can learn. They need to learn for sure.
It's a great 5 points. It'll be on every build I make until it's gone.
So I just want you to just wait. I'm sure we're gonna get at least one. We have to. The chances of a top 8 with no Nifty is
That would actually be pretty crazy.
There it is.
So that was Gabriel Esquivel's team. And then in third is Jacob Bishop. Dan, do you want to take his mystical team?
Yes, sir. So he has Ghost Rider 048 with Bucky's arm, Arachnite at 60 with the trick arrows, Headless Horseman, which you'll love to see, with the motorcycle, Prime Voodoo with the Warlock. Interesting choice with the Warlock, and then Scott Porter with the Sinestro ring. This is White Shirt Porter. His sideline consists of Chthon, the 001 Ghost Rider, Tallow. I don't understand what he's here for.
I'll let you know.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't get it. Spider Supreme, Moon Knight, and the Captain America. Oh, I know what he's for now. I'm dumb. He's for Headless Horseman. I was like,
Yes.
wait a second.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah. Super strength shape change. Same thing with Brother Voodoo with the Warlock sword shape change. He's all about rollouts. That's what he loves.
I
is
mean,
rollout.
I'm all about it. I just, man, that team suffers the same problem of you just get USB arrowed and suddenly everything drops.
Yeah, but that's if you miss your rollouts. Yeah, he lives and dies by rollouts. And I've play tested with him tons on Roll20, and Roll20 loves his rollouts. So, yeah.
I feel like didn't he play something similar to this? Didn't we talk about this when the Headless Horseman came up last time?
Yeah, it was
Same team?
Yep. The exact
Yeah.
same team.
Yeah, I still had to reread Headless Horseman.
In the finals. It was at
Okay.
Illinois, that 4th of July weekend.
See, my thing is, if I was to play Headless Horseman, I would rock Death Metal Wonder Woman as one of my slots, or not. Sorry, Deceased Wonder Woman. Off of that, just because I think that'd be just her coming in late game and then going to her Deceased clicks. I think could be really rough.
Yeah, he did it for the super strength, so that way he could place some objects underneath Killmonger or Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
And then shape change for the rollout.
Yeah, there's not many like for these pilot guys. There's not too many like super strength options. So that was something that I've always, when I look at these guys with the pilots, I always look at something with super strength for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then taking second was Jalen Major and his mystical team. Miles, you want to go over that one?
Yep, he had the 048 Ghost Rider with Khonshu, which is surprising. He threw Khonshu on him. Usually a myth. But Arachnite with trick arrows, because, that's the thing. Blackheart with Blue Lantern ring. Both Scott Porters, the white shirt with the Sinestro ring. 2 Daredevils, one at 20, one at 10. And then Lucas, PJ, and Scott. His sideline is Khonshu, Absorber Man Prime, the 001 Ghost Rider, and the Beyond Amazing Moon Knight with Amatsutum and Chthon. And that's 295. Pete, what was his last 5 points?
There it is. There's the one in the top 8 here. I'm going back through them.
And
it
made it to the
seen
top.
That barrel. I've seen that barrel on Daredevils, and I cannot dispute the fact that it's incredibly, incredibly effective. It's still a giant piece of trash piece. Anyways, moving on.
And then,
that was...
Taking first place was Austin Murray, who played a detective team. So we had Hawkeye and Hawkeye with the trick arrows, World's Finest at 60 with Avatar of Khonshu, the Shaggy Chase, Misty Knight, both Scott Porters, and then the Prime Hulk at 10 points with the motorcycle. And Amit's Tomb on the sideline with Chthon. So congratulations to Austin for taking that one. Peter Marshfield actually was kind enough to send me a breakdown. So starting at top 8 was table 1, Az and Gabe. Az was winning until 10 seconds before last action when Gabe scored enough points for the win. Table 2, Jalen and myself. Jalen teleported over with his Blackheart on his turn 2. Also, we had Page of Pentacles and 6 on Amit's Tomb. He rolled a quit while a chunk of my team was in or near debris, and his team exploded. And then table 3, Jacob Hicks versus Jacob Bishop. Drove all the way from Livonia, Michigan together to play in the top 8, and then Bishop took the win with a board wipe. Table 4 was Austin Murray and Jay Major played, and unfortunately the APOC rollouts did not play in Jay's favor, and Austin won with a full wipe, and then that brings it to top 4. Table 1 was Gabe and Austin. Austin won this one in a very close game. Final points were 150 to 25, which doesn't sound that close, so I'm guessing things changed near the end. And then table 2, Jalen and Jacob played, and Jalen's mystical build took the win. No black card explosion like the previous round, but it was not a full wipe. And if I recall correctly, trick arrows with Arachnite helped seal the deal for Jalen. Also a close game, roughly 175 to 75. And then the final one was Austin and Jalen. I guess so. Both of them were exhausted from full days of cliX, and both had been up for at least 18 to 22 hours by this point. So they just settled on a roll off with Austin taking the win with a slightly higher dice luck. But still, nonetheless, congratulations to Austin Murray for winning the event. And that was the only detective build I think that made the top 8. Otherwise, it was mystical and ruler for the most part. Mostly mystical ruler.
Rocco.
So yeah, I think
you had 2 rulers, so that's a quarter of your top there.
Yeah, then a cosmic and unthemed. And then the Rocco.
All right. And then Dan, you got dropped last week near the end of the podcast. You still had some rulings you wanted to add to last week's list, right?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't know?
What do you got?
So the biggest one that I've had come up is what works with mind control and what doesn't work with mind control. Especially with the ruling that came up on the win. So the rule. Sorry, I'm pulling up the ruling here. So it is. They specifically talk about mind control and the trick arrows. With what was it? If you get mind controlled, you can use your opponent's trick arrows. Was the thing that was brought up. If you mind control an opposing character that has trick arrows equipped. So what was it? So the question was, will a character that mind controlled an opponent equipped with trick arrows be able to use trick arrows in the mind controlled character's attack? If so, will the player mind controlling be able to look at the opponent's trick arrows? And both of those answers were yes and yes. So that's just a case of most of the equipment now works with mind control. It used to not, where you didn't get the effects of your equipped equipment when you were being mind controlled, but that got changed. So a lot of the times, I don't know that might not always you remember that when you're mind controlling a character, but that's something that can be pretty huge. Like a trick arrow off of a mind control could be devastating. So,
well, the weapon off of mind control is just a new ruling change, right, on the last rules update. So
yeah, because it used to be you didn't get opposing equipped effects when you mind control an opposing character.
Right.
So
Yeah, they just removed it from the rule book, so the section that said you couldn't.
Mm-hmm. I don't know
A
how
lot
much
of people try and say that. Well, it doesn't say that you can. I'm like, it's not the argument.
It should say that you can't is the thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, I don't know how much I'm with or without that ruling. I kind of liked it when you didn't get the opposing effects, but it's just where we're at right now. So, yeah, a lot of stuff does work with mind control now because a lot of stuff is more passive, like exploit, Psyblast, things like that. So I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff now that works. But the trick arrows one I thought was pretty big, and it was an official ruling off the win. So, and especially with Prime Colossus being such a huge piece out there now too.
Well, yeah. The trick arrows specifically were being ruled the other way, where you don't have the actual arrows to use on your force, so you can't use them. So it was definitely a clarification that needed to happen because most people were playing it wrong.
Oh, definitely. I don't disagree with that being like a good clarification. That just makes them.
Yeah, both... trick arrows are a ruling nightmare.
Yeah. I just think it's more like they're both a massive benefit to your team, and potentially if you're facing mind control, could be completely devastating. to your own 4s.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get hit by your own trick arrows also.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any more?
That was the other big one that came up that I wanted to address. I think I covered the rest of them.
Okay, yeah, I know you had a pretty big list that you went over. You just got dropped. I wasn't sure how many you lost.
Yeah, because I think we covered the Porter Pulse Wave interaction and like how that also interacts with 048 Ghost Rider. Those were, I know, 2 that came up that were pretty big. There was another funny one. So this was a silver specific one. So with Prisoner of Planet Doom, he has a trait that is at the beginning of the game, if you are not the first player, you may roll a d6. 3 through 4 is first player skips their first turn, or 5 through 6 first player skips their first turn. And this game, Prisoner of Planet Doom may choose both options for his Doom takes what he wants trait. You can trigger this for the many faces of Doom. So you can start with Prisoner of Planet Doom, roll for that effect. I saw this happen in one of Oliver's games. He rolled a 5-6, so because he picked map, and then first player had to skip their first turn, and then but he swapped out to a different Doom. So you get to resolve it because it triggers while he's on the map. So you still resolve that effect, even though he goes off the map and swaps out to a different Doom.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times he got that off, but that was something that we were hoping to help him.
The one time I saw it, the opponent didn't realize what was happening, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a bad time." So,
well, it's not always the funnest thing to have a 7-year-old explain the rules to you because they actually know them better.
No, I mean, I know it was more just like they were like, "I have to skip my first turn."
Yeah,
like, yeah. And they're like, "Oh, that's not." It was more just the sudden like, "Oh, I have to just skip a turn." What? Because I don't think that happens very often in HeroClix. You're just like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times he got that. I know he missed it a few times, but he was hoping.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know, Miles, you had one you wanted to add to that too, right?
Yes, the Mern PD interaction. So Mern's trait is worded when a friendly character attacks, if a line of fire drawn to an opposing character that shares the keyword with Mern would be blocked. Instead, it isn't, and the target modifies their defense +1. And PD is worded when an adjacent friendly character makes a range attack, modify the target's defense -1 if the target is within the line of fire of this character. It was ruled that PD does not interact with Mern because the line of fire isn't blocked for the attacking character. But the way it's worded, it says if a line of fire drawn to an opposing character that shares a keyword would be blocked. It's when that character is attacked. It doesn't say just for that character, which means that PD, the line of fire, would be blocked normally, but it is not. So Mern and PD do work. That could have came up huge for me. Luckily, it did not cost us. So I'm not as bitter as I could have been. But Mern and PD work, and you can stack that also with White Shirt Porter to help negate the +1 to their defense, their combat values. That was the only major interaction
with Mern, because it's not specifically stating only the attacking character's line of fire are not blocked. So
it says when they attack, if a line of fire drawn to an opposing character would be blocked.
Yep.
Which means that it's blocked during the entire attack phase.
Mm-hmm.
For everything.
And then, did you have any other ones from your event?
The Prime Hulk interaction, I know came up a ton. I had some terrain markers and would charge and then destroy it for 2 rolls. They didn't think that's how it worked, and I had to explain to them that that's exactly how it works.
Well,
I had argued quite a bit for why it worked that way, but no, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
Much too.
Because if you read Hulk's new description of the Path of Destruction trait, it's when Hulk is given an action. After resolutions, if he destroyed a piece of terrain during that action, heal him 1 click. If a terrain marker was destroyed during that action, roll a d6 and heal him half the result instead. So it's an action. So if you're giving him charge, right, which is I'm assuming what you were doing.
Yep.
You get the proc from the not only the charge but the the close action.
The free, the close is free inside of the charge.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're
You're
proccing
getting
it twice
two-
with one act. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting two triggers of that trait, which would then allow you to heal twice. So
Yeah,
'cause
those
it's
were the main
very
ones.
similarly worded to Amit's Tomb. So, and I think even the other one, which we don't see a lot of, is the trio. Zod or Zanan are pretty much worded the same way too.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't really hear any other judge calls for anything out of the ordinary, besides those two from just my game.
I'm pretty sure the Hulk one's even in the clarifications on the win.
I think the Hulk. Did they clarify Hulk on? Was there a question for Hulk?
I'm almost
Hold on, just
positive.
let me look. I'll tell you right now because I have it here in front of me.
He would have
He is a
been
bit-
Avengers 60, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at him looking for him right now. No, oddly enough, I don't see him there because I have Carnage Clay, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, and then we jump to.
Well, no, it would have been a rules question though.
That's where I'm at. Is the rules questions?
Okay, I thought I remember one, but it was brought up somewhere, and that's how it works. Did you have anything else come up, Miles, or was that just those two things were the big ones?
Nope. Yeah, there's those two.
All right. We also had some listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First, we have McConnell Lamar. He asked a few here. So he said, do you think Masters of Time should be legal for Worlds? What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I'm so
I'm on the
conflicted
fence.
that.
I'm indifferent. I want to play Starro. I'm prepared if I can't, but I understand a lot of people, like especially some people traveling internationally, won't have any access to it. So it's gonna be almost like how at the Rock Cup, where they ruled that even though technically they said that the butterfly set was legal, since it wasn't in a lot of people's hands, they ruled that it was not legal for that event. So I could see that being similar.
That way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna go out of my way to chase anything. Like, say Masters of the Time comes out, right? I'm not gonna go out of my way to chase something down for a build. I'm pretty much set in what I'm probably gonna play for Worlds, and I'm just gonna get as many reps in with that as I can.
My issue isn't so much that the new set is legal for Worlds the week before Worlds. It's that it's only going to see modern legality for barely over a year, since the next Worlds would be its second one, if that's what they go by.
See,
They
just
might
think they're,
not.
they're no, that's what I'm thinking. Is their rotation is completely arbitrary, right? Like, they make the rules. Like, Porter will see one Worlds appearance, so
That's just
that's
for
it, and he'll
good
be gone.
gameplay. And X of Swords, though, which you brought up earlier, that could have been just more or less because of the less events that were going on still because of COVID. Because there was a really small rotation in that first one, too.
Well, no,
Yeah.
X of Swords was when that was that huge rotation.
Was it the huge
Oh yeah,
one?
because they dropped off. They dropped off Disney Plus. That's right. Yep, because there was so much dropped off during that one.
Oh, and then that one made it. Oh, you know what though? But that
I
also
think it's
could have
mainly for
been
swap.
because of the tarot cards, and they didn't want to split the tarot cards up also, because the
with swap.
the rest of them they would have been legal after Worlds, so that would have been short. So that could have been one of the deciding factors too to keep that in a little bit longer. But we'll just have to see.
But that's
because they, like I said, they have not said specifically 2 years, 2 Worlds, but we can assume
No.
it's looking more like it's 2 Worlds now at this point.
But if they don't state that, like, they can make the goalposts whatever they want. So you could just be like, hey, we know this stuff came out like immediately before Worlds last year. We're not going to rotate it early. You know, we're going to give it 2 full go rounds. You know.
And there still seems to be like shipping delays that are messing with the release dates too. So I think if there were no shipping issues, I'd like to see it planned out where the most recent set that's legal for Worlds have probably about 4 to 6 weeks of time in Modern. And then they have a brand new set for Team Sealed and BRs and sort of like a early pre-release. That would probably be ideal. But the hero...
But as of right now, there's also other stuff that hasn't came out. We have no ice packs, and I'm pretty sure you're the only person besides the guy that won the factory set that has the play at home multiple man.
Is that listed as legal on their website or on the Win? I know they haven't shipped yet.
How did you get the play at home multiple, man?
I won it in the auction. That and I won both play at home kits that weren't
Nice.
in the actual video, so they came separately.
I think it's fine if it's legal for Worlds. I like more options and less options. I think the cliX economy for sets is always wild to me when stuff first comes out. And I think with that little bit of a window prior to Worlds, if there's something that somebody really wants, they're going to hopefully be very lucky or be paying for it. But I think the shipping thing's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, we're counting on distribution to happen like it's supposed to, and that's not always WizKid's fault. But it doesn't. It rarely happens like how they intended to. I guess
It says that main set, all OP figures, and all promotional figures for Deadpool Weapon X are legal.
So technically, I could show up with Legacy Hitmonkey and it would be legal.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Probably
Don't
not
know if
doing
that's
it still.
the I was gonna say I don't know if that's the call you want to make, but go for it.
And then he also asked, do you think giving Krakoa a point value for the purple starting line creates a negative play experience in a world with the Poison Ivy team?
So I'm going to go no because of the
Right now, no. Post-rotation, potentially.
I think the map size limits the effectiveness of the Poison Ivy team, to be honest with you.
Krakoa
Yeah.
dies.
It does.
Krakoa dies so easy, though.
No, it's getting that first attack off if they go first. By being able to take away powers and stuff.
Well,
So
but I'm pretty sure Krakoa doesn't theme with them, right? If I'm not mistaken, unless you do.
You can.
You can. I know, but you're paying for it, right? Because I think you have to do the Harley trick with him, right, to get him.
Nope. You bring out potentially Joker or Penguin.
Oh, you can do that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I forget you can do that too.
Yeah, and you might as well do that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really see that being a problem, and I never saw if he had that purple line, whichever I know a lot of people.
I'm totally fine with him having that purple line, though. Yeah, I mean it's fine. I think that we still have justice for Krakoa because the figure didn't get to see play when it was modern, and there was finally a reason to play it. It just sucks that it's just not good.
My issue is that we previewed the card May 9th, and then I reached out and let WizKids know that the purple line on the card, it was on the card, but the point value was missing, and asked to see if they would just let me know what it was supposed to be so I could share that. And the response I got was that they don't issue erratas until after the set releases, which in most cases that's probably totally fine and understandable. But now you have this card out in the wild, and then people are buying and selling this piece expecting it to get this purple line because, again, it was on the card. And then you find out July 11th, 2 months later, that it is not going to get a low point line, and then it was an accident. And then it, if that was something that they would have just said initially 2 months ago, it would have been way easier to take than 2 months of hype over this piece. So now it was just 2 months of that.
Well, in Legacy Starter, I believe they errated to have a low point, correct?
Let me look. Hold on. I can tell you.
I believe Starter didn't originally have a point line.
I think there was a similar issue with the Thor riding the chariot.
Yeah, that one definitely didn't have a low. I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
I think it was the exact same issue where he had a printed line and not a point value.
See, I don't see an errata on Surtur, at least on units, and I don't have the legacy card in front of me. Let's see.
Is the chariot Thor? What's he called?
He's just Thor's Mighty Chariot. I'm pretty sure that this guy did not have that 75 point line. I'm pretty sure it was only 250 or 350 when it came out, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think it was him where he had that they needed to add that later.
Surtur, the card should indicate a purple starting line on click number 20. Thor's Mighty Chariot, the card should indicate a 350 point value for the character's green starting line.
Okay, so we needed
and then the card, Emir, the card should indicate a purple starting line on click 21.
So it's not unheard of that these mistakes happen. It's just they've never just said, "Oops, it's not there."
And I think they've done it where they've given back each point line that the character has had, right? On their, if they've had multiple starting lines on a figure, I'm pretty sure they've given them all back in one form or another. So I don't see why Krakoa couldn't have his lowest line back, because that was what his lowest line was before, but it was, I think, 70
it was 70 points. Yeah. Which that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But they've also
this
changed those lines where they're not even like apparent. So if there was no purple line on the legacy card, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh no, I don't think they changed the line, because the old line started right where that one was.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Pete?
I just think it's just a weird stance to not fix it.
Yeah.
Just say, "Oops, it's not
Yeah,
supposed
just
to be."
I
there.
mean, it's like it's just kind of weird to me. I mean, again, I think you want more accessible things to the game, and I think that people that go out and seek out legacy, I like legacy cards. I think they're really cool.
Yeah,
I'd honestly say I'd be really happy if there was just like a legacy card set. Honestly,
for sure.
that would be my thing, like just booster packs or something, because they're not all great, but the ones that are fun, I mean, they're all generally fun because, like you said, the values aren't always good, but they do something unique. So I just don't understand the hesitancy to put a lower point line on it.
I just don't like there was 2 months of like getting excited to play a piece only for it to become unplayable. Just doesn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then number 3, it's still early, but do you think anything from Deadpool Weapon X is not being talked about enough? I still think that there's not enough people playing with some of these pieces, but Deadpool and Elsa, I think they're picking up steam. They're really good. I saw Deadpool and Hitmonkey really do some damage at our event. But I think the sleeper that maybe people only now are starting to look at is Major Logan. That's a piece that he does a lot of really cool stuff that affects the game. Just with that roll that gives you +1 to D6 rolls. I'm not sure how good he'll be after Porter's leave, because right now that's a huge factor in him being viable, is that you can pretty much guarantee if you're playing a Porter, someone else is too. Beyond that, it's probably going to be like Kong or something like that. So, but yeah.
Major Logan still is an option for sideline for your butterfly. That's where he's going to see the most play.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
I
actually
think
used him in Oliver's team with Butterfly. He had Major Logan on, and he'd bring him in against my team, which was a huge rollout team. It's a big deal. But I think after rotation, some of these pieces will shine a little bit more. Pieces that do stuff like Wolverine Pool. Some of those things that just die too easy to some of the stuff in the meta right now. Do you guys have any sleeper picks out of the set so far?
I'm waiting to see where Pulp lands. I really do like Sheriff Deadpool and Pulp.
He was
and
good.
Iceman. Iceman, I think, is going to see some play in Modern for that +1 attack, especially losing the Porters. Even if you can only benefit it for just a few figures, I think it's worth it.
I think there's plenty of stuff that it's going to see Pulp play from this set. Beast, tons
Well,
of
I mean, even Modern, just regular Modern, Iceman is... Because losing that +1 attack is going to be huge, and so there's almost a thing where you have Butterfly bring in Iceman to get that +1 attack, potentially. Is it the right call? I don't know.
No, it's not.
But I think there's
not for swapping a 30 or a 60-point character for a 30-point. I don't know.
But
that +1 attack though is huge.
You sure about that?
100% sure about that. Next time you need a 7 and you roll, or next time you need a 6 and you roll a 5, you're like, man, I wish Iceman was on my team.
I don't think that will ever happen. Even if he was on my team, he's dead.
I think that Beast with the 3 outwits is.
Oh yeah,
he's done work every sealed game that I've seen him played in.
Yeah,
and
just him walking up and being like outwit. I'm like, oh,
and that's an incredible point cost to be able to do that.
Only 30 points,
it's just
right?
really good. Yeah,
and you can't get rid of it because his outwit is also protected outwit, so you just have to kill him or he's gonna do it.
I'd rather bring him in for Butterfly. Still not doing it though. Nope, not doing it.
Cable play at 40.
God damn it!
All
right, number 4. What's your best guess on what is happening with these items? So his first one is Kevin, which I think at this point it's not even going to be a main focus. There's Gen Con, and then shortly after that there's Worlds, so that I would assume takes a lot of energy on their part. So after that, I'd maybe think this would be revisited. We all know that HeroClix players don't forget, so I'm pretty sure that that'll be brought up again in the near future, because they did leave it hanging, I think. Was that even like 2 months ago that they said they were going to try to get more into the hands of players? So
Yeah, participation at Worlds, the welcome event Wednesday. That's going to happen.
everybody just gets a Kevin.
You get a Kevin. You get a Kevin. Yep.
So here's what's actually happened with Kevin. There was a handful of them that snuck out. The rest of them are actually sitting on Kevin Feish's desk. They're never leaving. You only get one if you actually star in a Marvel movie. So they're not actually paying actors anymore. They're giving them Ultra Chase HeroClix. That's my theory.
I think they dropped to like 250, and then once this set was starting to hype up, they jumped back up really quick to 350, and then I think almost back to, was it 4 or 5?
400,
yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So they're way back up there. So yeah, hopefully they're going to see the light of day at some point here, because they're pretty neat. And then he also asked about the Marvel HeroClix Deadpool Weapon X Retail Chase Booster OP Kit at the store level and the Marvel HeroClix Store Championship Deadpool Kit. Both of those dates have actually been updated. Our store just scheduled those events in the last few days. We have the Retail Chase Booster event scheduled for August 9th, and then the Deadpool Store Championship for August 31st. So check with your store, because those should have been updated in a computer, and you can get those now. And then he also asked about Deadpool and Hitmonkey Heist Pack, Weapon X Jeff Pizza Party, the Weapon X Play at Home Multiple Man Online Exclusive, and the X-Men High Rollers Monthly OP Kit. Yeah, obviously that stuff is all supposed to release with the main set. It sounds like they're changing something either in their warehouses or their computers or both, and all the June, July dates were pushed back. So it's going to be anyone's guess when that stuff releases. And the other one that's really weird, though, is the Wakanda Hulkbuster, because that actually got out to stores, but no one has gotten their online shipment yet of that. So that one's a little bit less clear on what's going on there.
And luckily, I know one of the Click Stats was actually building with him, and luckily they didn't, because technically that's not a legal piece, because it's not on the modern list.
Oh, it hasn't been moved to the modern list yet?
No, it has not yet.
Oh, okay. Nope. Yeah, it looks. I want to see him played at 125. That's another piece too. Come rotation and point values and map changes and stuff, I think he actually might have a chance at 125. That's his high point, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only point value I think that he sees play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't play him.
Yeah, the free action thing is the number one reason.
And especially with all that new Wakanda support coming in, I would say a couple months. That could easily make him pick up steam.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I know Pete's excited to play him.
I think until you see the new Wakanda set, he's only played at 125, and even then, there'd have to be something pretty exceptional in the set to not play him at 125 just for that free action limitation. So.
And then Peter Marshfield has a couple questions. He asks, how do I fit 1,000 points of my build into 300 points? That seems like a Pete question to me. Pete, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know that you can actually do it, but let me think about it for a second here.
I mean,
Butterfly doesn't help.
I got one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Legacy Starro. That's pretty obvious. You turn a 20-point figure into a 260-point figure. There's like a quarter of what you need right there.
So there's that, and then you would have Hulk, who can go from 10 to like whatever his total point cost is. Yeah. I guess probably some Vampire. Well, Vampire clicks don't really change. Well, they do. Yeah, Carnage Surfers go up to a higher value.
Yep. There's
and the Black Lanterns. If that's what we're going for.
4 figures is all you need.
I'm listening.
Got Starro going from 20 to 280, so that's 260 points plus. Then you're going to have Carnage Surfer, that's going to be 125 points that you're gaining. And then you're going to have Prime Absorbing Man on the sideline, that's another 125 points. And then you're going to have 100 points for Carnage Thor, you're now at 610. You only need 90 points. So that's 20 That's 120. That's 120 points of your build, and you're 90 points away from 1,000 points.
So I took this in a different direction. I thought he was saying that he has 1,000 points of pieces that he wants to fit into his 300-point team. So thought that made more sense, but I guess turning a 300-point team into 1,000 points is also good. I thought that the best thing you can do really is just start with 300 points of stuff that you think would be the best, and then play test. And then usually you can start just removing the pieces that you want to play versus the pieces that you should play on the team. Play testing is really key.
Man, this Redman guy thought he was going to make fun of us, and this is a thing we could actually pull off, boys. Did you hear that? Disdain,
Yep,
this is a
this
Pete
is
question.
1,050. You also have Necron on team too, but then you have Black Lantern Superman.
Well, I think that my
Yeah, they-
reading comprehension is just better because he says, how do I fit 1,000 points of my build into 300 points, not how do I make 300
Could you-
points 1,000 points.
I just misheard how you said it. Your reading comprehension is correct, but your way of explaining it was wrong.
No,
yeah.
that's fair.
Could you just do it with Black Lanterns? You'd get pretty close. Right?
Probably. Just because
Yeah.
I think Black Lantern Superman's like 500 points top dial, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to lose, for sure, build with Black Lantern Superman.
Definitely.
And just start him at full
definitely.
dial.
Where's Bookwood when you need him?
Yeah, just start him at full with Necron, and there's your 300-point team.
Well, you can't because Necron's 40 and I think he's 270, right? So you're over build already.
260.
Oh, it is 260. Okay, well, all right.
And then he also asked about Prime, Colossus, and Detective. Was there an actual team that was made with that combo yet? And I missed
No.
it?
Not yet.
Okay.
So
No.
my only thing with that is they're competing for what I call like an equivalent spot with World's Finest,
Right.
and that's just a coin toss of who's better, right? Because you already have World's Finest that's 20 points less, and you don't have to like keyword cheat him to get him there. So, and then Misty will be gone.
I think it's a better Prime. I think Austin showed that getting to the finals was a roll-off.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that
So-
Prime Colossus and World's Finest on the same team is bad. I think the issue is that your time is limited here in Modern to do that because I don't know if Detective is still playable after rotation.
It's
No,
definitely
you
not.
lose Misty Knight, so you don't get Prime
And you-
Colossus to get
I was
Detective.
going to say, yeah, you can't even turn
And
him
you-
into a detective anymore.
And you
No.
lose a lot of stuff. Like you'll still have Hawkeye and Hawkeye, I think, but you're
Yeah.
losing like the majority of detectives that you have. So
But Hawkeye and Hawkeye, Prime Colossus, and World's Finest, right there, that's what, 120? That's only 200 points. So throw the trick arrows on Hawkeye and Hawkeye, and that's a pretty solid team right there.
well, you're
It's 245.
245. You're 230 because you have Misty Knight or whatever. 'cause
Yeah, so
she's-
you have to have Misty Knight, or else he can't get on the detective team.
So then what
It's
else do you throw on
245
there?
with Misty Knight military.
So
You do
Commissioner?
the trick arrows, and then you're probably gonna do Commissioner at 30, and that leaves you with 15. So you're gonna give the cycle to Colossus.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
There's not a team that, if you can fit Prime Colossus on it, is bad.
Right, exactly.
Not at all.
It's just, yeah.
No, I was just saying that him and World's Finest fill like a very similar role. So it's like, well, it's just kind of a coin toss of who I'd want. But
Both in
This-
your, I think both is pretty good. Throw Prime Colossus up there first, and then start doing World's Finest things after. I like that combo.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not bad.
And then Wesley Robert.
Major hitters.
What's up?
So you have 3 major hitters. So yeah, I mean, I think that they complement each other more than they fight for the same spot.
Those are 3 crazy threats. If you keep Hawkeye back, and then you throw Prime Colossus up there first, you get that free attack on World's Finest, and then attack again, and then you have Hawkeye and Hawkeye coming up. That sounds pretty good.
Well, it's easy to keep Hawkeye and Hawkeye back because they have IT characters and hindering. So
Right.
I don't see them struggling to hit things from behind.
I'd say make the team, Peter, and see how it plays. Wesley Robertson asks, should the bunker map be banned from Modern? I would say far from it. With maps being smaller, I think we should actually see more maps like this, more blocking and more walls, and actually even bring back doors and windows and start there, I think, probably. But maybe
You need a map
what's that?
for going second. You need maps like this if you go second.
Yeah, they
You
need to
really
be an
do.
option for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then honestly, just if there's anything else they can introduce too, that just change the way that you would have to think about a map, I would say that they should stop printing maps like Wakanda. That's just basically a wide open grid.
Yeah.
Wow,
With four
man.
block-
See, I also enjoy the big outdoor maps. So like, I'm not necessarily Wakanda, but I think what was it, the graveyard map? I played on that a couple times.
It's terrible. It's just wide open.
Better win map
Those-
roll then.
Yeah, well, and exactly, and that's why we're going to the bunker. So we need more maps like the bunker and less maps like Wakanda. So I am going to go all
Okay.
in on the bunker.
I think
okay,
you,
then
I
I guess
you
I
have a place for both. I feel like this is really like this just really got like oh, you have to be one side or the other. I do not think the bunker should be banned from modern. I think the
No.
bunker is important to have that option because it gives you more ability to play other teams.
Can
Same
I-
way that I think that you build teams around playing them on maps like Wakanda, or your play style is playing on maps like Wakanda. I don't think there's anything wrong with the bunker. I have the bunker. I had it. I just don't play that style.
Being
So,
confused
I'm-
by terrain isn't a play style.
It's not being confused by terrain. It didn't work with my team. I wanted my team to get across and have I wanted my opponent to have very little cover options from two Kongs. That's all it was. Whereas the bunker gives them an option to kind of hide behind stuff, which is fine because it let you play other teams than just straight Alpha Strike. But if you're playing an Alpha Strike team, why do you want to complicate it with something like the bunker?
Well, that's why
I guess-
there shouldn't be an open map where you can't hide or do something about Kongs. If Kongs can just land on you no matter what, there's something wrong with that map.
I mean, you can place your own terrain and stuff, right?
Well, but the Kongs aren't going first if they're picking that map, right? So
Right.
you do have that advantage of you being able to go first.
That's fair. I just
don't. I think this is not like a this or that thing. I think it's just both of them have their places and they both have benefits and drawbacks. You know.
especially with whoever picks map, they go second. So if you're putting your opponent on Wakanda, usually you're not going to do so well against
I don't
Alpha.
know. Yeah, I mean the Wakanda's there for the alpha, or
Yeah.
if you have a stealth heavy team.
Mm-hmm. So I think my one if I'm gonna chime in on it, I like outdoor maps, so I would like some more interesting outdoor maps.
I just want to see
That would-
terrain. It can be indoor, it can be outdoor, but I like having obstacles and things to have to think about. I don't like a wide open grid where it's just shoot, land, whatever.
Bloodstone Maze is the perfect outdoor map.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's great.
Oh, see, I didn't really like it that much because it's literally all blocking. That's why I was like, okay, I guess it's all right, but it just
I
feels
think
like
Blood-
Hedge
I
Maze
think
2.0.
Bloodstone Mage is fine too. I mean, there are times when you don't want to give blocking to other teams too. Like, I mean, if the criticism is of what you want things that are held in, then get rid of Amit's Tomb, because those type of maps play into that broken ass piece of card.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
has to
that-
go. That's a whole
That is
other
accurate.
conversation.
So
All right.
I mean, there's benefits to both it, but no, I do not think it should be banned. I think it's a map you absolutely have to have something like that right now.
Yeah, especially if you lose and you go second, like that's just you need the defensive option where you're trying to protect yourself.
So at the
Yeah.
very least, we can all agree that it should not be banned.
Oh, definitely no. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
100%.
Okay.
100% agree.
From everything I've seen of that map, it's not Morlock tunnels. It's not what was that? Was that Underground? And it's not King's Tomb.
Right.
It's not those options where it's very oppressive to play on.
Yeah, my issue with it during our event was I just didn't get how Quake was working at that time. Now that I've got it figured out, the map's just a map. You can rearrange it pretty
Yeah.
quickly. So it's not a broken map. Like there's been broken maps in HeroClix. There's lists of them. The Rainbow Bridge thing from the Thor map where you could mind control people
the
and throw them
Bifrost?
off and have
Yeah,
them take.
that was
Yes,
dumb.
the Bifrost map, the airplane map from the Rock that was basically a kill box with Unimind.
Yeah.
Because he saw through everything, and there was like the map was basically what maps are now, like small maps. That one is completely wide open to certain pieces. Yeah, there's been a lot of broken maps, but I don't think this one is. I think this one needs to stay for sure.
All right. And then number 2 is WizKids going to let the unthemed meta run wild, or will they bring an element to motivate players to run themed teams once Scott Porter's leave?
I think small map is the perfect answer to unseen. You win map, it's the fact that it's small maps only. I think still hurts unthemed.
I think it's actually still worth playing theme. I think we're going to continue to see pieces that just play better when they share keywords. Also, that +3 to initiative roll is still big if you're playing against an unthemed team. So being able to choose map or go first, depending on who you're playing against, that can change the whole way the game plays out. But whatever happens, Porter's leaving Modern after years for the best.
I don't think it's going to be a theme versus non-theme problem. People that want to play non-theme are going to play non-theme. I usually build theme because I just find it to be more fun to do. So I think it's perfectly fine. You still get the initiative roll. So
Yeah, and I like the interaction stuff they've been doing with theme. So I don't think theme is really going to be that. I think, like I said, the easiest thing is you get the +3 to map roll, and that's still huge for your strategy of what you want to do. If you are like a team that designed that you operate better going first, your like theme is probably what you want to lean.
And there's usually some sort of synergy either with that keyword and pieces giving things to pieces that share the keyword, or just the general play style of that keyword, like mystical or monster. So I think it'll continue to be mostly themed. Plenty of reasons.
Or this
to do that.
podcast's favorite keyword, assassin.
It's almost.
I don't know. Harris been really convinced me to do like detective. He makes detective look so good. I'm just like, that is great.
He's running out of time for that because I don't think it's going to be around after Modern. But Silver is going to be really strong in Silver.
Mm-hmm.
Then he also says, just wanted to thank Ryan and Miles for everything you bring to the community and helping me to level my skills. Wes, not a problem. Personally, I love it when people reach out and message and just want to talk clicks or team building or whatever. So, yeah, you are welcome.
Yeah,
That's not true because I send you teams all the time and you just crap right all over them. So I don't believe that for a second.
Well, you can try sending me a good team.
I mean, you're not the only one, Pete. I'll send him a team and be like, this is like kind of good. And he's like, poo emoji. I'm like, awesome.
Well, how often do you guys add nifty traffic barrel? I think that is.
You guys don't even add the traffic barrel. How am I supposed to tell you have a good team if you don't even put those 5 points on there?
What are you talking about? That is on my Modern team.
Now.
What are you talking about?
Now. And I
It's
haven't
not
sent
going
you
on my Modern team.
I haven't sent you a poop emoji in a while, huh, Dan? Or at least this week.
No, not this week. I'm waiting for it though.
And then we have something from Kenny Minks. Kenny Minks, whose personal record against myself is 0-1, writes, "What do I win when I beat your team at Worlds?" Well, Kenny, on the off chance we have our worst day ever, and you have your best day ever, and your team manages the win, it would still be probably your 2 teammates getting the wins, most likely off roll-offs, and you still taking the L. If that does happen, I will stand at line at the shop, I will buy you a buyable LE, and then you can sell it to help pay for your trip to Memphis. Kenny Minks?
I'll be right there with.
Kenny,
I will help. Yep.
Kenny?
You just made the list!
See, but my thing is, he phrased it as when I beat your team. So is he only speaking about your specific team, like you and whatever team you're playing, like in singles? Or is he talking about Team Worlds?
He's talking about Team Worlds.
Oh, because I'm just saying, he's also got to compete with Miles, Pete, and I, so there's kind of a problem there.
Yep.
And if you some odd chance he beats me, then I'm gonna have 2 pieces of bread. I'm gonna put my fist between it, and he can go ahead and eat a knuckle sandwich.
So you got some challenges there, Kenny Minks.
Man, I feel like Kenny and you need to come to a gentleman's agreement here. There needs to be some stakes to this. There's some talking going back and forth during the question section of a very reputable podcast here. So you and Kenny will sort this out. Sort it out in public, sort it out in private. I want to hear a bet. This smells like a World's bet, boys. Let's go.
If we match up in any game all weekend, there's definitely going to be some bets being made. You can take me to that.
You can bet on it.
Yes, for sure. And then last we have Luminati, who Tommy mentioned the EagleCast earlier, so he asks, when will EagleCast 101 be released? Or in the absence of the Eagles, will Degeneration Clix take up the drunken podcast model?
So, fun fact, Illuminati. If you go back and listen to some of our 20 episodes, I have already taken up the EagleCast motto. There's a couple of them where I had to clearly sober up mid-episode to complete the episode. So you can figure out which ones they are. It's not very subtle.
It's not.
But, hey, listen, EagleCast 101 would be awesome. There's a soft spot here on this podcast for that group of degenerates.
My spot's not. So.
It's not soft.
Oh boy! All right, that's Miles. We talked about this.
We're talking about the Eagles, okay? We're talking about the Eagles.
The Eagles. I owe the bromance between Miles and I is based on an Eagles event.
Mm-hmm.
And while I know that I'm not the only bromance that Miles has, because you can't contain a stallion like Miles Kane to just one bromance. I know that I'm the most special one because he tells me it all the time. So that's what I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely miss the Eagles, but they do live on in spirit some episodes through Pete. So you can go back and listen to some of those. There was some rough ones.
There's at least 2 or 3 that I'm really surprised I got invited back afterwards.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
No. I'm working on some videos. Prepared to be for the lead up to Worlds. It's going to be me and Calder Ness into arm wrestling. So there will be videos posted from both ends. It's going to happen. It's going to be a big deal. Bring your picnic tables because I'm going to smash them.
I like this energy going into Worlds. I like the Miles and Calder energy. I like the Kenny and the Ryan Redmond energy. Like, let's go. Ramp it up for Worlds. It's getting into World season here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Aquaman's coming out of retirement. I conquered 7 seas. I'm coming back because there's an 8th sea to conquer, and it's Calder Sea. Yeah, I'm going to drain that.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya. Click it.